The cold wakes you before the light does. Not a chill, not the kind you feel on an autumn morning when the window is left open. This is something deeper, a cold that has settled into the walls, into the straw beneath you, into your own bones while you slept. You open your eyes, and the air above your face is dark and still, and your first breath comes out as a cloud of white vapor that drifts upward and disappears. You are inside. This is supposed to be shelter. You don't move right away. Moving means exposing skin that has been warmed by your own body heat through the night, and your body already knows what's waiting. So you stay still for a moment, listening. Outside, there is nothing. No wind. Just a deep, pressing silence that a world buried in snow makes. A silence so complete it feels almost wrong, like something is missing from the air itself. Then you move, and the cold hits you like stepping into water. Your fingers are stiff before they've done anything. Your feet, wrapped in wool rags inside leather shoes you never fully removed, feel thick and slow. The woolen blanket you pull away from your body is damp, not from rain, but from you. From 12 hours of your own breath and sweat condensing in fabric that has no way to dry because nothing here ever truly dries in winter. You've been sleeping under something wet. You slept through it because there was no alternative. The fire is nearly out. There are coals still, small, reddish, barely alive, and this is the first thing you must do before anything else, before you eat, before you think, before you fully wake. You kneel beside the hearth and feed it. Dry bark first, shredded carefully, because dry material in a medieval winter is precious in a way that's almost impossible to overstate. Then small sticks, then slowly larger pieces. You lean close and blow gently, steadily, and the smoke rises into your face, and your eyes water, and you don't look away, because you need this fire more than comfort. It catches. Eventually, it catches. And here is the first thing you need to understand about warmth in this world. The fire does not heat the room, not the way you're imagining. The hearth throws heat in a cone, close and direct, and if you're sitting right beside it, your front will feel almost warm, while your back remains cold. Step 3 feet away, and you'll feel almost nothing. The walls of this cottage are timber and daub and thatch, and they breathe, not metaphorically. The cold moves through them the way air moves through fabric. The temperature inside this room, even with the fire burning steadily, will not rise above a few degrees above freezing today. You know this. You've known it your whole life. It doesn't make it easier. You eat what there is. Dark bread, dense and slightly stale, not spoiled, just old, because in winter everything is preserved through cold and salt and time, and freshness is a luxury no one in this village thinks about anymore. Maybe some hard cheese, if you're fortunate, a bowl of something, pottage likely, made from dried peas or beans and whatever root vegetables were stored from autumn. It was cooked yesterday and left, and it's cold now, or barely warm from sitting near the dying fire. You eat it without complaint, because complaint is a thing you've also learned to stop doing. Complaint changes nothing and costs warmth. The food is not enough. It is almost never enough by January. This is something people rarely think about when they imagine the past. It's not just that medieval winters were cold. It's that the cold and the hunger are connected, are the same problem wearing two faces. Your body in this temperature is burning through energy just to maintain its own heat. You need more calories in winter, significantly more, and winter is precisely when your stores are lowest. Autumn's harvest, put away carefully, has been feeding a household for months. By midwinter, the arithmetic is grim. You eat less, and you need more. You put on everything you own. This is not a figure of speech. There is no wardrobe you select from, no layer-in system thoughtfully designed for the cold. You wear it all. The linen undershirt worn so long that it shaped itself to your body, the wool tunic, the rough cloak that smells of wood smoke and animal and outdoor air, all of it at once. The wool is not soft. Medieval wool, unprocessed by modern methods, is coarse and thick and slightly scratchy against skin, and you have grown so accustomed to the sensation that you no longer notice it. Your skin adapted years ago, the way calluses form, the way the body simply absorbs what it cannot change. Your feet are the worst problem. They are always the worst problem. Leather shoes do not insulate. They are better than nothing, which in this world is the standard by which almost everything is judged. Better than nothing. You have wrapped your feet in strips of wool, and the shoes go over that, and when you step outside into the snow, they will begin to soak through within minutes. Not dramatically, not in a rush, slowly, the way cold water always moves. By mid-morning, your feet will be wet and cold, and they will stay that way until you're inside again near the fire, and even then they won't fully warm. Chilblains, the painful swelling and itching that comes from repeated exposure, are something you live with from November through March. You don't think of them as an ailment. They are just winter.
You open the door. The cold outside is not the same cold as inside. Inside was restrained, held slightly at bay by walls and fire. Outside is open and complete and total. It enters your lungs so sharply that your first breath feels like your chest has been touched with metal. Your face, the only part of you exposed, tightens immediately. Your eyes sting. The inside of your nose feels it, that dry, crystalline sensation of air that contains almost no moisture. You stand there for a moment. The snow covers everything, the path, the fence lines, the roof of the neighbor's house. The world is perfectly white and completely silent and objectively beautiful in a way you are too cold and too tired to appreciate this morning, because beauty is not currency here. Beauty doesn't stack wood. Beauty doesn't feed the animals. The animals. This is why many families in this period kept their livestock in structures attached directly to their homes, or sometimes inside the same walls, not from poor judgment, but from wisdom. The animals generate heat. A cow is an extraordinary source of warmth, and her presence shifts the temperature in a closed space meaningfully. The smell is something you accommodated long ago. The smell is also warmth in its way, and warmth is not something you reject on the grounds of preference. You feed them with what's left of the hay. You check the water trough, frozen over as it is every morning, and you break it with a wooden handle because this task is also every morning. Routine in winter is not a choice. Routine is how you stay alive. Miss one morning's fire tending and you lose your coals and spend 20 minutes in the cold relighting what should never have gone out. Miss one morning's water check and an animal suffers. Every morning is the same morning, and the sameness is not comfort. It is simply maintenance of survival. You go back inside, and here is the thing that stays with you, that has been staying with me the more I sit with this. There is no warm place. Not truly. Not in a medieval winter. The fire warms you from the front while the cold holds your back. The bed, which you will return to tonight, is damp and cold until your own body heats it. The floor is always cold. The walls are cold. The air at head height near the rafters is colder still, and the ground level air barely better. You move between gradations of cold, slightly less cold, noticeably cold, deeply cold, but the baseline never lifts. You don't get warm and stay warm. You get slightly warmer, and then you move, and the cold is there again, patient, constant, completely indifferent. This is the thing modern life has almost entirely removed from human experience, the persistent low-grade discomfort that simply does not end. We live between thermostats. We experience cold as a transition, something we pass through between one heated space and another. Getting into a cold car for 30 seconds, walking from the parking lot.
The idea that cold could simply be, could be the unbroken condition of your entire existence from November to March, for your whole life, every year, it's almost conceptually difficult to hold. By midday, you are tired in a way that feels older than exhaustion. Not sleepy, that's not the right word, worn. The constant micro-effort of staying warm, of tensing muscles slightly against the cold, of the body working quietly and ceaselessly to maintain its own temperature, it accumulates through the hours like a slow debt. You haven't done anything dramatic. You fed the animals, carried some wood, prepared a small meal, walked between the house and the outbuildings a handful of times, and you are deeply, fundamentally tired. The light is leaving by mid-afternoon. This is the other wound of a medieval winter that rarely gets discussed, the darkness. The sun, already weak and low, sets before you've finished your work, and what replaces it is not electric light or even particularly good candlelight. Tallow candles, if you have them, rushes soaked in animal fat. They smell, they gutter, they cast light in a small, wavering radius, and outside that radius, the shadows are absolute. You do not read, you do not pursue hobbies. Darkness in winter, for most of human history, meant the cessation of productive activity and an early retreat to the thing you most need and least enjoy in this season: lying still, in the cold, waiting for morning. You eat again, less than before. You bank the fire as carefully as you know how, which is very carefully, because a fire that goes fully cold overnight is a significant problem in the morning, and you have learned this the hard way more than once. You arrange the coals, cover them with ash to slow the burn, and then you pull yourself beneath the damp blanket, and the cold closes over you again. And you lie there in the darkness, and you listen to the silence of the snow. And slowly, slowly, your own warmth comes back to you. Tomorrow will be the same fire, the same bread, the same gray light, the same cold waiting on the other side of every door, the same tired feet and the same aching hands and the same arithmetic of survival. How much food is left? How much wood? How many months until the temperature shifts? This is what winter was for most of human history. Not a season to be endured with some inconvenience, a genuine test, a months-long confrontation with your body's limits and your household's resources and your own capacity to simply keep going when there is no relief coming and no alternative to continuing. Survival, in the end, was not a dramatic thing. It was just this: waking up cold, making the fire, eating what there was. Doing it again.